What's up, everyone? Happy Wednesday. I'm a few minutes late over here, but I wanted to pop in and do a we'll see, live video for you guys that I want to start doing every Wednesday. Just answering some questions, like a little Q&A, sharing some knowledge, sharing some support and things that have helped along the way, and then just being here as a resource wherever you are on this journey. Know that that myself and the other coaches that are here to help and support you, and we all have some different like backgrounds and experience and stuff to bring to the table. So there's a reason why several of us coaches are in this group, because we want to bring that knowledge and experience with our journey and stuff like that, nutrition, weight loss, muscle gain, fat loss, all that stuff, to you guys to, give you the chance to kind of dive in and get familiar with, get comfortable with, and, again, be able to like ask questions and know that you can reach out to any of us in here, as well as, there's a bunch of women in here too that have been with us for, a month, 6 months, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, etc. That, can also like help with some questions and things you may have too. And we all have a lot of different experiences to share. So anyway, for the purpose of today, and we're going to try to make this an every Wednesday noon.
Sorry, I'm having trouble.
Stop. An every Wednesday noon thing. Where, if you have questions throughout the week, you can post them in the question thread, and then we can cover them on Wednesdays as well. Or, we may have several of us doing live videos or things like that. So I wanted to talk to you guys today about a few things, about consistency, about nutrition, about like hormones, about fat loss. I'm just trying to pull up this app real quick. And kind of just a bunch of those things. So, we are like full out in summer, and summer is challenging, because of a lot of things. Obviously this year is a little bit different. So there's not baseball games and concerts and, the normal things that we experience, big giant barbecues and huge get-togethers and stuff. So we're a little bit different in that regard, but it's still also easy to fall into that, like it's summer, drink, eat, snacks, food, barbecue, all that, drinks by the pool, go on vacation, all the food, all the drinks. That's easy to do. But we have some amazing programs, you guys, that like we are able to work through this summer, like for instance, like MBF, MBFA. I know 6 weeks of the work. There's been a bunch of us that have done 6 weeks of the work and have had a lot of success. And I just really want to stress the importance of sticking to your program calendar as best you can. Make sure that you're in, that you log into, when you log into BOD, you click on the program accessories and you print out that workout calendar and you hang it up in your workout room. I am a box checker offer kind of person, and seeing those days marked off just is like fuel for the fire. Like it's just that much more motivating. And it seems, extremely simple, but like working through a program day 1 to day 21 or day 1 to day 30 or week 1 through week 6 or whatever it is very, very gratifying. And it's an amazing accomplishment when you do so. So do that, but know that, you can take it one day at a time, that it doesn't have to be perfect, that, if you are exhausted or you're extremely sore, or, maybe you've accidentally pulled something, and you need to take a day or two off, that's okay. This group is going to be here forever, for life. Sorry if you signed up thinking that you could like come in and out, but you know what? You get us for life. Unless you choose to leave, you get us here for life. So we're going to be here every step of the way. We are going to be here with check-ins. We're going to be here answering questions. So, if you're working through a program and you're like, I'm just really not feeling it, What should I do? Like, do you have any suggestions? I am going to be completely transparent. I quit Morning Meltdown 100 at day 49. I didn't even make it to halfway, but I had tried to push myself through it. And it was such a mental block for me. I wasn't enjoying the workouts. It's a great program. I love Jericho. I love it, but it wasn't my jam. And I continued to try to struggle through it just for the sake of doing it. And I wasn't feeling it. So I stopped and I pivoted and I went back to 80-day obsession and I did something that I loved. And that's okay. You know, not every program in the program library is for everybody, is for everyone to love. And it's okay if you're trying, you know, maybe you start 6 weeks of the work and you're a week in and you're like, I don't like this. Don't force yourself to do things that you don't want to do. You have this huge program library of 1,500 workouts at your fingertips. So find your jam, get in your groove, but also don't quit just to quit. Pivot, change direction, find your groove, find what it is that you love. If you are like a cardio junkie and you hate lifting weights, I wouldn't suggest doing a weightlifting program. Sure, I think weightlifting has a lot of benefits for metabolism and muscle growth and all of that stuff, but I think it's important to find something that you love. And sometimes it takes some time, and sometimes it takes patience, and sometimes it takes giving yourself grace and going, okay, I need a victory. I need to find my groove. It's okay to kind of play around. So I love Shaun T. I got my Insanity certification directly from Shaun T. He's amazing. He's an amazing human. Go listen to his podcast, follow his Instagram. He's wonderful. And his Shaun Week program is a great week of workouts with some weights in there, lots of cardio, but that's a good victory to do. So if you and I always take it one day at a time, take it 1 week at a time. Same thing with Clean Week. Clean Week is a really good beginner, get your feet wet, dive in there program. And Megan Davies is an amazing trainer. You guys, you've heard me all month. I'm raving on MBF and MBFA. This is my jam. I am in love with this program and I'm in love with Megan Davies. She's an awesome trainer. And she's super relatable. She's really down to earth, but, find what it is that you love and pursue that. And don't be afraid to say, I need to change a pace. I need something new. But you have, a 12-month BOD membership for a reason. I know that for me, I started with 21 Day Fix and I did a couple rounds of that. Then I dove into Body Beast. I did Core de Force. I've done, I can't even remember all, Hammer and Chisel. I did Insanity Max 30, but I never completed the program, and just have worked through one program after the next with the goal of crossing every day off on my calendar and going, okay, I know that this is a process and I need to trust the process. And I'm asking you guys to trust the process and know that you're not going to lose 50 pounds in your first month. If you do, tell me what your secret is, because I'd love to share it with the world. But you're going to see those little victories that compound. It's taking time for your body to kind of pick up its metabolism and go, what are we doing? We're adding in workouts now. I guess we better pick it up. Metabolism's all right, let's start getting into this groove. And that can take anywhere from 2 to 6 weeks, honestly, to happen for your metabolism. If you've been very sedentary, it can take anywhere from 2 to 6 weeks for your metabolism to really kick in and really start supercharging. So, and then let's talk about muscle for a minute, building muscle and muscle growth. And Megan has even talked about this in the MBF program. Sometimes initially, as we start to use muscles that maybe haven't been used in a while, our body requires more water to hydrate those muscles, because water acts as like a lubricant for our muscles, for muscle growth, muscle repair, muscle recovery. So as we're bringing in, as we're doing more weightlifting workouts, as we're using muscles, and it doesn't necessarily have to be weightlifting, again, like it can be body weight. But as we're doing things that are requiring more of our muscles to be used, we require more water. So our body tends to retain a little bit of water initially until like our metabolism and our kidneys can kind of figure out like, oh, this is a new thing that we're doing. We're working out, we're drinking more water, we're eating healthier, and sometimes our colon needs a little bit of time to catch up and go, okay, like I need to start flushing this stuff out. Like you're giving me fiber and nutrients that I maybe haven't had in a while. So I've got to try to regulate that. And our stomach is like, oh, what are these, foods that I've got to break down? And so it's this whole internal process that does take time. So there's a lot of science behind that. And I can certainly share all the articles and dive in as much as you guys would like. And I'm super, super passionate about talking about how this whole process works in our body. But know that it does take time. Know that sometimes it does take trial and error. And then same thing with nutrition. So hold on, backtracking real quick. Like I said about water, we do require, and I'll say it till I'm blue in the face, at least half of your body weight in ounces every day, or make it at the very least a minimum of 64 ounces a day. I say shoot for 80 to 100 because as your muscles need that water to like repair, recover, help ease muscle soreness, you're just like a sponge as you start working out. Your muscles are like, absorbing all of that water. And that's where we sometimes tend to gain a few pounds when we first get started. So know that, if you've just started and you're like, I'm up like 3 pounds in my first week. It's okay. That happens. That's normal. A lot of times when I start a new program, I see my body weight change. And I'll dive into hormones and like menstrual cycle here in a minute, because that's a huge topic. And I could probably do a separate video on another day. But a lot of times weight gain happens around our cycle too. So that regulation of hydration, regulation of our metabolism, it does take time. It is a process. And that can, again, take anywhere from 2 to 6 to 8 weeks sometimes. And that's with consistency. So, and I know you guys, like sometimes it seems like I don't have all the time in the world to get my workout in. I don't have I have this going on, I have this, or, I didn't work out for 3 days and then it was easier for me to not work out for a few more days and I've fallen off the wagon. First off, throw out the damn wagon. We don't need to be on or off a wagon. This is a lifestyle and it's about making a healthy, balanced lifestyle. It's about creating that balance and the understanding of fitness and nutrition. And we're not just working out so we can lose weight. Like you're working out for your health, for your insides, for longevity, for keeping yourself youthful. For as a woman, one of the most important reasons why we can work out is because it builds up our bones and it strengthens our bones and it helps prevent osteoporosis and things that happen as we're so blessed as women, things that happen as we age and, our bones break down and it's harder for us to maintain our muscle mass and our muscle mass breaks down. And as soon as we gain weight, it goes straight to our abs straight to our, and our ass and all the things. It just goes right in the middle and it's frustrating. And like this right here, we just develop, these things as women. And so know that the fitness isn't just for weight loss. Like we're not here coaching because we want to see everybody lose a whole bunch of weight. Sure, that's a byproduct of getting healthier and living a healthier lifestyle, but we want to help you understand how important it is to live that healthy lifestyle, to do it not just because you want to be skinny or see a number on the scale or wear a certain size. It's about creating that better health internally. Like great if you lose 10 pounds, but if your cholesterol goes down and your blood pressure goes down and, you were pre-diabetic and then you're not anymore, or you don't need insulin, or you've reversed some of these processes, like those are huge victories. For me as a nurse too, like that, those are the things that I get excited about. I love yes, the transformations and the weight loss and all that stuff is great, but like healing your body from the inside out is so unbelievably important. Like finding what feels good in your body, finding that like, just that like, I feel good, I feel healthy, I feel energized. Those are the goals that we're working towards, creating that balance, creating that lifestyle that goes, you know what, like I can eat pizza and not feel guilty about it. I can go out to eat and I can have 2 margaritas and an extra taco and not feel like I have to eat nothing for the rest of the day. Creating that balance that is a combination of, living a healthier lifestyle and still like having that discipline and that, like, what was I trying to say? Having that discipline and then still being able to splurge and indulge every now and then. Not carrying the guilt around nutrition, not carrying that diet mindset, ditching that diet mindset completely. A couple things about that before I go on to talk about menstrual cycles. I've talked a little bit about the workouts and everything. If you are struggling with that consistency, please reach out to me or your coach and let us know, because we want to help you create the habits that last. Same thing with nutrition. The Beachbody blog is amazing for recipes. You guys know we share a meal plan in here every week. You don't have to follow that meal plan to a T. It's kind of a guideline to give you some ideas and some healthier recipes. If you need more intensive help with like meal planning, also let me or your coach know if I'm not your coach, and honestly, if I'm not your coach, you can still reach out to me. Like I'm here to help everyone. So, same thing, vice versa. Like if I'm your coach and you have a question for somebody else, I'm not going to get offended. We're a community. Like we do this together. But if you need that more intensive help with like, okay, I'm diving into the containers, Ashley, and like, I really want to nail this for like, the whole MBF program. I want to just really like nail the containers and like what I need to do as far as portions go. And I really want to like lock it in. Then yeah, like I can send you meal plans that are very, very container specific for certain caloric ranges, for timed nutrition, for, the carb depletion plan that she does. So there's all kinds of resources that we have. Again, the Beachbody blog is great for recipes, for nutrition. I can do a separate call strictly on meal planning and nutrition as well. But I almost don't know if I have to, because if you have the Ultimate Portion Fix and the 2B Mindset programs, there's a lot of really good stuff in there. And I know sometimes it seems like a lot. Well, I'm working out and I'm meal planning and I'm meal prepping, and now I have these nutrition videos that I need to watch too, and I need to go to the blog. I get it. But like creating all of that, encompassing all of these things at a pace that you're comfortable with, taking it a little bit at a time, okay, I've got like, when you get your MBF challenge pack, or when you've signed up with the challenge pack, you get this awesome nutrition guide with it. And like, this is something that I would love for all of you to just dive into and read through some of this nutrition stuff. There's a ton of really, really good information in here that talks about nutrition and the importance of nutrition and how it works in our bodies and things like that. There's a ton of recipes in here that are really, really good too. And like this zucchini, red pepper, and sweet potato frittata I just love this thing. I've made it so many times. But utilize these resources that you're being given. Same thing with the Beachbody blog. And just so you guys know too, if you're on the fence with MBF, if you haven't signed up, real quick sidebar, like what's cool about the MBF bundles right now, even if you already have an on-demand subscription, like if you're currently getting Shakeology or you're currently getting Performance Line and you're paying, you know, $130 for just that, you can cancel your current subscription and re-up with a completion pack. And that gives you your 30 days of Shakeology or Performance. That gives you program access to MBF and MBFA. You get the cordless ropes, you get a shaker, you get a set of these 21-day fix containers. Again, you get this amazing 2B Mindset tracker that I have right here. This is golden. Like if you aren't tracking your food, definitely track your food, because then you can go back to this and reference like, you know what? Last week I gained 3 pounds. Let me look at my tracker. I'll tell you why. It's because I went out to eat 4 times last week, or I didn't write down the chocolate chip cookies that I had every night. I had 3 of them. So tracking your nutrition, it can like allow you to look at the patterns and the habits that you have, and really just help overall, because again, this is a lifestyle. This is your health. This is your, physical and mental health, and it's a journey. So all these amazing resources, like I said, you can re-up with the MBF stuff for the same price as just purchasing a bag of Shakeology. And that gives you also access to Ultimate Portion Fix and 2B Mindset, all of the content in there. So like everyone this month or in the next month should definitely be doing that, because you want those nutrition programs. I cannot speak enough to the amazing content that is in the Ultimate Portion Fix and the 2B Mindset stuff. You literally get like 48 videos with Ultimate Portion Fix where Autumn teaches nutrition, and then you get 29 videos with 2B Mindset where Ilana teaches nutrition. So that is, and that's like free with those bundles. And then it's in your Nutrition Plus app, or like it's on Beachbody On Demand. You can go in and into the Nutrition Plus side of the app and access those videos and just work through those nutrition courses. And Ilana is amazing. She talks about, binge eating and how, what happens when you've been on a weight loss journey and you gain, and, just all of the things that surround that. Ultimate Portion Fix is great because Autumn talks about all of those things that, surrounding the containers and meal prepping and planning for your family and, how to grocery shop, and like does a video where she literally walks through the grocery store with her son and like talks about how to grocery shop and like grocery shop with your family. There's just so many amazing things that are with both of those nutrition programs. Okay. I'm going to shift gears for a minute, because I, again, could ramble on and on about nutrition all day long, but I kind of wanted to touch on hormones, and like periods and stuff real quick, because I know that came up earlier this week and it does play a role. And I'm going to just try to be extremely basic, because it's heavy. It's a lot. No pun intended. Ugh. But there's a lot of information and I don't want to confuse anyone. So we know that like our cycle, technically day 1 is like the day that you start your period. And usually that's like, for the purpose of today, we're going to talk about like a 28-day cycle. And if you're having different, like I'm usually every 6 weeks, which is a huge pain in the ass, but that's just always the way I've been. And I just deal with it. Unless I choose to take a hormonal something that will regulate my cycle. But for me, that's what works. So I just deal with it. So my hormones are all just, that's why I'm, all the time. Anyway, day 1, period. Okay. So those first 7 days, your hormones decrease. You're closest to like a man as far as hormones. So you'll notice like the first week of your cycle, typically you may notice an increase in your energy. You may notice an increase in your endurance. You may notice a decrease in your appetite. This is while you're on your period, like the first week, that you're on your period. So a lot of times you can go a little harder that week. You can push yourself a little more. Those first couple weeks of your cycle, typically days 1 through 13, are like you will see your body weight drop typically. You will, that's like the losing phase. Go all in. I know, like, so TMI, but like I just started a few days ago, and those first couple days are rough, like as far as being crampy and stuff. And you know, just that, like, you know, that just blah feeling that happens like when you start. But I do notice that I have a little bit more energy and I can push myself a little bit harder because all of those crazy period hormones leading up to your period start to subside. So those first couple weeks can really be a good chance for you to like up your endurance. And y'all, like, how great is it that we get to go through this every month for like 30 years or something? Just, isn't it great? Oh, so anyway, those first couple weeks, you know, dial in your nutrition, challenge yourself to work a little harder, increase your weights. You may even feel like a she beast, like you just, like I feel, and that's good. That's a good thing. And know that, you know, you can push yourself a little bit harder. So again, like you should have a decreased appetite, up your water intake. Sidebar, like try to drink 8 to 16 ounces of water before every meal. Like I'm going to eat at 5 o'clock. Okay. At 4:30, I'm going to drink like 16 ounces of water because that not only helps speed up your digestion process and helps like alleviate any kind of constipation and helps keep you more regular, but it also helps you from overeating because you're filling up a little bit with water. Not the goal to like deprive yourself of nutrients, but a lot of times we kind of like fast before we're eating because we know a meal's coming up. So we try not to eat or drink anything before dinner. You're supposed to. You need to be drinking, you know, 8 to 16 ounces of water before every meal. And again, that can help you with that feeling of feeling a little bit more full, as opposed to feeling completely famished and then, you know, eating several servings of, you know, your meal. So we move into ovulation. So typically around like days 12 to 15, we move into ovulation. And that's a lot of times we have that like bloating. We have, you know, you may notice like breast changes. You may feel a little bit more fatigued and sluggish. That happens. You may notice that your core temperature changes a little bit. That's okay. All normal stuff. Those hormones kind of rage for a few days. Again, you may feel bloated and you may notice like a 1 to 5 pound weight gain around then. Also, another sidebar. iPhone has a health tracker on there where you can plug in your cycle. I don't use any other app, but I know that there's another really good app that's free that you can track your menstrual cycle on. So I would really strongly encourage you to do that because also if you're using this tracker, you're able to track your weight and then you can plug in your cycle in there and kind of see a pattern as you move month to month. Like, oh, okay, well, I know that every time I ovulate, I gain 4 pounds and I'm a raging and I just feel really like out of sorts for a few days. That's okay. Like the more in tune we are with that hormonal cycle, that menstrual cycle, the more you'll be able to kind of see how your body changes and processes those things through that. So ovulation, and then we move into that like luteal phase where we are, you know, preparing for, you know, obviously like we've ovulated, we're either going to grow a baby or we're not. And so we're like going into that next set of hormones. So that is really where we see a lot of those weight gain changes happen in that last like 10 days, up until till day 1, till when we start our period again. So typically days 21 to 28, We have an increased appetite. We have increased cravings. We're a little bit more tired. A lot of times tired and cravings, like carb cravings, go hand in hand. So if you're fatigued, if you notice you're not sleeping well, if you're hormonal, you feel like you need to eat more things, it's because we're fatigued from a lot of times those hormones. And our body, when we're fatigued and we're tired, just automatically craves those like crappy, like super dense carbohydrates, because carbs do give us energy. We know that. But a lot of times we reach for things like bread and chips and pasta and like those comfort food, mac and cheese, the comfort food kind of things, sugar, candy bars, because we know that like that instant like sugary carb will give us that energy boost. And then what happens is 30 to 60 to 90 minutes later, we didn't satisfy what our body was needing, nutrients, and we crash. So, okay, going back, I did make notes because I know that I trail off a little bit. So that days 21 to 28, on average, and this is kind of a wide range, but it's an average range, women can gain 1 to 9 pounds in prep for your period. Ashley, that sucks. How do I combat that? Well, a lot of times we default to that carb craving, comfort food, pint of ice cream, hormonal mess that a lot of times we fall into. And that's where sometimes the weight gain happens too. Yes, we do retain a lot more water. Yes, we have those breast changes. Sometimes as our breasts feel a little more fuller, we can gain weight in them too. And then that bloating that happens, a lot of water retention too. So what do we do to combat that? Well, I said early in our cycle, those first like 2 weeks, we tend to have more energy. So doing weightlifting workouts is really, really a great way. Like those HIIT workouts, weightlifting workouts, body weight workouts early in our cycle. And then toward the end, we do better with cardio, high intensity cardio. That doesn't mean you have to switch week to week to week, but just know that your body responds a little bit better with cardio toward the end of your cycle and responds better with weights toward the beginning. A combination program is ideal because then you're getting both of that. But just so you know, the last couple weeks, days 15, days 21 to 28, it's best that we cut out fat, not cut out completely, but decrease the amount of fat that we're eating, decrease the amount of sodium that we're eating. Where salt, and nurses in here, where salt goes, water follows. So the more sodium you consume, the more you retain water. We need to decrease our sugar intake because a lot of times as we're, bloating and going through those hormones, when we consume that excess sugar, our body stores it and then stores it as fat. We don't burn it off as energy as easily. Our body stores it as fat. So decreasing sugar intake, decreasing alcohol intake. I know this is the tough one for me, but alcohol can hinder your body's ability to burn and shred and shed fat for like 72 hours after you consume it. Right? 72 hours. So like I'm going to have a glass of wine on a Tuesday, and then that can inhibit my liver, but ultimately your liver's ability to burn your body fat. I know it's mind-boggling, but unfortunately decreasing that alcohol intake can then in turn help us to continue to decrease our body fat percentage. That's a big goal, decreasing your body fat percentage, not just necessarily decreasing your body weight, but when you decrease your body fat percentage, there's less room for fat in your body and more room for lean muscle, which muscle in turn burns more fat. So your goal is you want to have more muscle mass because then it's helping your body naturally burn more fat. Also decreasing caffeine. Ashley, I'm hormone raging, I'm bloating, I'm frustrated. I've seen my body gain 5 pounds in the last week, and I know my cycle's about to start, and now you're telling me I have to cut out booze and coffee? Well, I mean, I know. So those are all things that we can decrease, and it just helps that process. It helps prevent us from continuing to gain during those last couple of weeks of our cycle. We do retain more water. Our kidneys, it's like during that time, it's a byproduct of our kidneys releasing the hormone aldosterone, which causes us then to retain more water. So that's where a lot of times you'll see that weight gain. But drinking more water, 80 ounces, does help speed up that process and helps flush it out. And then again, you're drinking more water. There's less room for those sugary carbs. There's less room for alcohol, and we're also just decreasing that fat, salt, sugar intake as well. So unfortunate stuff about the periods, cycle, hormones, all that stuff, but it does explain a lot why our bodies respond the way that they do around our cycle. So I'm not going to speak to like birth control and things like that today, because that's kind of a separate conversation as far as like the hormone stuff goes. It just plays a different role sometimes. But just like your straight up menstrual cycle and the hormones that surround that is why we see our bodies change. So if you're in that cycle of, I lose 5 pounds the week and the 2 weeks after my period starts, and then I gain those 5 pounds back. A lot of it has to do with our nutrition surrounding our cycle. And just know that like our bodies do retain more water during that time. So a lot of times you're not gaining body fat unless you're flat out consuming like copious amounts of alcohol, sugar, and processed carbs. And even then it takes a while to gain like a pound of body fat. But again, the purpose is to shred the body fat and get rid of the body fat, as opposed to just like deprivation of, valuable nutrients. So, was that helpful? I feel like I've been talking I have been. Okay. So I'm going to wrap it up, but I had a lot I wanted to cover today, you guys. And I know that, that was kind of a big question, and that really helped me understand, like when I was working through a fitness journey, and as I still am, really understanding my menstrual cycle and how that can affect, how those hormones can affect my body, really did play a big role. So I encourage you to track your cycle. If you have questions about any of this, please don't hesitate to message me, because I ramble and I love to talk about stuff like this. So I'll do my best to help you as best I can. But please don't hesitate to reach out. Dive into the nutrition stuff. Again, like the MBF, MBFA, and if you're just jumping on, go back and listen. I know this is a little lengthy video, but I really did want to cover a lot of stuff with you guys today, and give you some tips and ideas and things to kind of carry with you. I really would encourage re-upping with the MBF and MBFA bundle, especially if you're regularly ordering Shakeology or Performance, just because you get those 2 nutrition programs that are such a game changer. And we know that nutrition is 80% of this journey. You can't outrun your fork. And keeping consistent with nutrition, I think understanding the nutrition is the biggest thing. And that's why I love those programs so much, because we can work out all day long, but unless we're matching that effort with like a good understanding of nutrition and how to eat cleaner and how to do more time meal prepping and how to, incorporate healthier foods and healthier recipes and following portions or taking a look at what your plate should look like, as you're creating your plate for dinner and stuff like that. I think it's such valuable knowledge on how our bodies work. Now, real quick, a side note, because I'm going to share this with you guys. If you've heard me talk about the Zac Efron show with Darren O'Leen. Zac Efron and Darren O'Leen did this show called Down to Earth, and they've like been friends, and they travel the world, and it's on Netflix. It just is like a newer show to Netflix. It's amazing, and it's very, very insightful. But Darren O'Leen is the co-creator of Shakeology, and he's a brilliant man, and he is just like, I just love listening to him talk. And he has a really, really great podcast that if you want to dive into nutrition a lot more and understanding like nutrition and macronutrients versus micronutrients and why micronutrients are so important, and phytonutrients from plants and antioxidants and all that stuff, total nutrition nerd over here. But I wanted to share, like, if you really want to dive in, his podcast is great, but this is his book, and it looks different now. This is the old one. Like, this is like 6 years old. But he talks about nutrition in here in a way that like completely reshaped my thinking on how food works as fuel in our bodies. And so I would encourage you, if you're looking for something good to read or listen to, I know we've been doing that podcast challenge this month. Darren O'Leen's podcast is a really, really good one to put on your radar. And if you're more of a book person, this is a really, really good book to get. So anyway, just wanted to kind of mention that real quick. Again, if you guys have any questions, thanks for taking the time out of your day. I do want to do these weekly. So again, let me know what questions you have. Let your coach know. We're here to help 100%. Thanks again for taking the time, you guys. I hope this was helpful. If you want any more clarification on any of these things we talked about, if you need any additional guidance, this community is here to support you 100% and cheer you on and encourage you, and do this together. And I love seeing the unity that comes out of this group as we, cheer each other on. And I know I'm not always the best at posting my progress every single day because I'm human, and sometimes I just forget and or fall asleep on the couch before I get a chance to. But know that like your check-ins they keep me going. And those of us that are coaches, they keep us going. Like seeing you show up for yourself and then seeing all of us show up for each other and cheer each other on, and like just be a source of support and like zero judgment, just unconditional, like badass girl power is like, I just love that. So keep showing up, keep working hard, keep sweating, keep doing the things, dial in that nutrition, and really take it one day at a time and give yourself grace, because man, like it's a journey and it should be enjoyable. You should love it. Like you should find your groove with workouts. You should start to see that progress and start to feel those feelings of like accomplishment and victory, and like seeing your body change and transform and get stronger and feel healthier. Like those are all amazing things and they should be celebrated. So happy Wednesday, friends. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Thanks for getting on. Bye.